I think it's ultimately validation. You know, when we took over the program, we were struggling for a little while, and I had the idea of, you know, trying to help build a program that could ultimately compete at the conference level and, you know, make the next big step. Right at the end, as we were winning some awards, I pulled the whole women's team together and I said, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for trusting me and saying that we're going to be good. And so validation from that part that, you know, what I said to them in the recruiting process kind of came to fruition, and we were all pretty excited about it. I think we were like one of the better teams across the board when it came to being in the pool. I really liked how all our women were basically behind the blocks and ready to go. We said all year long, we're not wishing for it, we're working for it. And I think what we did in practice throughout the course of the year really gave them confidence to step up and go for it. And, you know, whether it was on Sunday night where, you know, it was so close from winning the mile to, you know, the 200 backstroke where we 1-2'd it, and we had some huge drops in times. And then the 200 fly where we, you know, had a great showing as well. And Sydney stepping up huge to win her second 200 fly title, injured, was fantastic. Katarina is so quiet on a day-to-day basis, but she's also so determined. I think, again, that distance group and how we train, it really showed through. It was such an honor to kind of see her hop up and say, you know, swim the way she did, but then also get rewarded for it. And we got a good streak running, so, you know, I guess the pressure's on next year is figuring out how to make it 4 in a row. And I think it's actually 4 since I've been here, you know, so, but 4 in a row would be pretty sweet. And he was one of the stars of the championships. Everyone kind of liked watching him swim. The times that he threw down and how he goes about swimming with so much of the race being underwater is awesome. Right in the first dual meet of the year, when he did his first race, I was like, wow, his underwaters are elite. And, you know, he's a top 20 swimmer in the nation. And, you know, it was fun to get up and watch him swim and see him perform. And, you know, no one's more deserving, though, because on a day-to-day basis, he came in and worked really hard. He pushed our guys' team to be better. And I really think that we were better for having him in practice all year long. And, you know, the racing part's just the fun part to watch. Like, wow. Anytime you can break a record, a landmark conference record, and this one was from 2014, which was a great swim back then, is amazing. In the recruiting process with him, you know, we have a tradition with the Ranger jacket, and, you know, you see it on deck, and anyone who ever wins an individual title, names gets embroidered inside of it. And, you know, he said, he was like, wow, I really like that idea. I want to get my name in there. And I was joking around with him on the first day. I was like, hey, you said you wanted to get your name in here. And I think that really lit a fire under him because he was on point the rest of the weekend. And that mile was a perfect swim. And I loved kind of watching it. And it was just cool to see happen. Looking at our guys' distance events, that 500 set the tone for the guys' side. And, you know, the fact that we put so many people up in finals, and then we had so many big drops across the women's side and the men's side on that. Being the first event, that set the tone. And then looking at the women's side of things, I think, honestly, at the beginning of the year, we had the idea of winning all 5 relays. And to actually put the work in, have the confidence to go for it, and be perfect on all 5 relays was a huge accomplishment. And it's nice to see some of the goals that we set at the beginning of the year, and not just with the landmark title, but individual goals, reaching them, relay goals, team goals, reaching them was awesome. You know, a couple swims that really stand out is the women's 200 back, the women's 200 fly, but literally you could go through each day and say, wow, that was awesome. And, you know, also even on the breaststroke side of it, those were the last 2 school records that hadn't been broken. And so now officially women's, one of the swimmers from Drew University is now owns the record board since I've taken over. So it's pretty sweet to watch that happen. Not to have a hiccup during the season is pretty crazy. And in swimming, I think it's more of a validation of how deep the team is and how we can prepare to be ready any given day. And I think that just goes back to how we train. We get up after it. I love the team culture. Both the men's and women's team really supported each other throughout this meet. And I got to sit back, watch, and be confident and just cheer. And then when some of these events were, swinging our way, or we having lifetime bests by a lot, like I just got to cheer and smile. But it's what they did and how determined that they were during the course of the year, and how they kind of had the mental wherewithal to say, hey, you know what? Today's the day we need to be good. And like I told all weekend, it's not a good day. Let's make it a great day. And I honestly think it's a great time to be a Ranger.